Is it wonky? No.
No, I think it's
Is
sweet.
it straight?
Yeah, looks good to me. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh yeah. Last week, I over the past maybe 6 weeks, the sound has fucked up on me in some shape or form, and I just can never seem to get it right. Last week I got it right for the first time. Went over there, pressed record, started the podcast. I was about 10 minutes in. I was like, I looked down and my laptop wasn't moving. And I was like, I forgot to press record and the sound.
Yeah.
So the first 10 minutes, like the first time I did it proper,
Yeah.
it was just pure camera audio until I got this fucking.
Well, you're talking to the tech guy here. It always balls it up like every single time. There's something I just don't do right.
I would fully pay someone to come down and just go, there's the correct angle, there's the correct sound, and then I would just fucking throw super glue all over the room. Yeah. And I'd be like, nothing's getting moved, nobody touch anything. Yeah, exactly. This is how it's going to be.
Like, that's what I'm saying I would do, is like mark stuff with a wee tape or something, just to keep me right. But then I always move it. I got guessing, I fucking problem with zooming the camera and all that. I'm just not a tech guy. I come and talk all day, but I can't do tech.
That's it. But do you not think it's the field that we're in where you have to be good at everything now? It's not just we write jokes and get up and tell them.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Not that anymore.
You know what? Because there's people who are brilliant comedians and brilliant joke writers, but they don't have a social media presence.
That's it. They can't sell themselves online.
Can't sell, and it's you have to be a bit of a jack of all trades now, which is something I'm not. But I've been trying to learn it a bit more. Like, see, doing clips and all. Nah, no good.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard. It takes a lot of time.
A lot of time. See, subtitling is the worst.
But then it's like, do you ever think, what's the next thing, or like, where's it going? Because like, remember Vine was like, people made their careers off of Vine, then that whole app shut down. Yeah. Like TikTok's now like went through Instagram, Twitter, like TikTok's the thing. Like, what's going to be next? You know, what's going to be the next move? Because people all of a sudden, you can't just put a video up unless there's subtitles on it. But it's like, but why?
I know.
So next it'll probably just be 2-second clips, no subtitles, just people just going, you know.
And that's testament to like people's attention spans now too are just getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Soon it's going to be like no one's going to watch football matches. They're just going to, the highlights are going to show up like a podcast clip on their phone, and there's just 30 seconds, and the commentary will be subtitled. Yeah, and then you'll just fucking scroll on to the next video.
Speaking of that, I watched Michael Arteta did an interview with Jamie Carragher for Sky Sports maybe last week or something. Yeah. And I watched the whole YouTube video, about 20 minutes of it, over the course of like a week and a half. Just whenever I got a minute to like, where is it? You know what I mean? With the kids and stuff. And I just really enjoyed it. And it's almost like, you know, when you get into bed, you set yourself down, hands on the thing, you're just watching Arteta and Carragher chat. Like, it was great. And then afterwards, you know, the way they do a recommended next video on YouTube. The next one was like 20 quick-fire questions with Arteta and Carragher. It was great. And then Catherine's like, what? And she would just watch it. She, like, we'd be watching a show at night. And if she's no, like, if I pick it, she's no interest in it. So she'll just be there on TikTok. And you just hear, no. And it's like, put your phone down. You know, we started watching the trailers there. I've seen it.
I've heard it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it though.
I've got into it the first couple of episodes. And she's just like, I don't really get it. Said, yeah, because you're watching a family of Dutch people dancing in their fucking living room with lederhosen on or some stupid shit.
Is it worth watching? Would you recommend?
I would recommend it. But it's only starting to get bitchy now, which is good. Right. So like,
is it reality TV?
Yes. So what it is, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I'll not give any spoilers, but I'll tell you what the gist is there's like, I think 20 people go into this castle, and they're all like called the Faithful or the Traitors. So Claudia Winkleman obviously picks 3 traitors, and then the gist is they have to kill off a person. Now, I was disappointed when I discovered it wasn't legitimate actual murder. I thought that would have been very tasty. But she just taps on the back, and then the traitors have to work together to try to like murder all the other faithfuls and then win money at the end. Otherwise, if they like discover who the traitors are and they out them, then the faithfuls can get the money, you know.
Right. But I don't know if it's up my street, but I've heard so many people talk about it. I feel like I want to even try out an episode and see what it's like.
Because at the Christmas dinner table, everyone was talking about it. Like my in-laws, my folks, all the ages, my sister, like all just.
Did you
like,
have a big Christmas dinner? Did you?
Yeah, we did it at our house this year. Yeah, so we had.
Who cooked?
Well, we did a wee smart move. So we did the starters and the desserts, and then my folks brought the meat, and Catherine's folks brought the sides. Class. And then it was just like a bring your own
team effort.
It was great. You know, we did all the booze and everything too, though, and like the wee snacks and hors d'oeuvres. But it was definitely handy. Oh dear. Do you ever make a move where like the owner will like have a a list or something, or like there'll be a shopping list, and the two of you will be going like to get it. So Catherine said, when I finish work for Christmas, we'll go out on the Friday. So Christmas on the Sunday, we'll go out the Christmas Eve, you know, if you're a weirdo, call it that. But we'll go out then and buy all the shopping. And I was like, I genuinely would probably rather kill myself. I hate like going to I hate shopping. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Especially when it's really, really busy.
Mate, it's like I get real anxiety and like fucking panic and all. So on the Wednesday, she had written a big list on our, like I bought a whiteboard and stuck it to the front of the fridge because I want to try to watch what I eat more because I'm too fat, basically. There's just, I don't want to be less fat, right? So we'd written, and I'm going to go and buy all this. So I went to Tesco's and bought all the shopping. It was like 100 quid. I was like, huh. And then we had more stuff because you had to get some like sides and party food from Marks and Spencer's. And I was like, I'll do that too. So I went to Tesco's, bought all the shopping, brought the bags to the car, went to Marks and Spencer's, another 80 quid. And like that would have been split between the two of us, but I'd been trying to be a sound dad. And
got it all.
And then, but after that, I was like, I think I rang her and she was working on Christmas Eve, went, that's me. Do we need anything else? I'm going to the co-op to get like Ribena or something for the kids and some onions to make, you know, the soup with. And I said, like, what do you need anything else? And she was like, well, I don't know. And I said, well, I'm going to ground here. I'm not leaving the house again until after Christmas. So if you want something, I'm not getting it.
And is that how it worked? Because I know I've said that 5 times.
Yeah.
But still, Christmas Eve night, I'm going out to get Schlur or get something.
Yeah, but then I was belligerent with it. So I said, well, I'm not doing it. If you want it, you can get it. Like your legs work. Like I actually stuck a fork in Catherine's legs. Or they were, because we were sitting.
Did you get kicked in the face? Was it one of those ones?
No, but you know the looks they give you, like, what the fuck did you do? Because she was talking about wanting something, and we were sitting eating her dinner, and then she said, oh, I'd like blah blah, and I was like, stuck in her legs, like, do you want me to go and get that, or do these work? And then she was like, oh, go myself. And I'm like, yeah, do, you know. So
fucking right.
But that was it. But
then opportunities, isn't it?
But exactly, like next thing. But she would be very much like she would like set up the shopping list and be like, look at the prices on things and, you know, this and that. I just go in and buy. Because I'm about how can I get in here and get stuff quickly as possible. And she'll go into Tesco's and like look at clothes, and I'm like, hold on, can't eat them. Come on, chop chop. You know, so like I'd be going in there just being like, right, let's get in, get out. Yeah. But so I know that's probably why my shopping's so dear. And then she like get cranberry sauce. So I bought like and what else? Like caramelized onion dressing for cheese or something. So I ended up buying
cheese.
Yes, for like the cheese board and all.
Right.
So I just bought four jars of the both, so 8 jars of this stuff, because like, I don't want to have to go back again. Like we're out of that. If you like, I don't eat cranberry sauce, but I don't know how much you use. So I'm like, well, I'm not coming back. That's it. Just have the house coming down to cranberry. Fuck it, you know.
As long as you don't have to go back.
Exactly. And then she'll be like throwing food in the bin, and I'll be like, this is out of date. I'm like, well, at least I don't have to go back to the shop to get it. Fuck it, you know.
That is the main thing when it's coming up to Christmas.
Like I don't even know what I'm doing. Like when I go home today, I have to go to get a couple of things, and she was like, we don't need anything from the shop, and I was like, the baby's hole needs wiped, so we need to get baby wipes, need nappies, and we need something else, razors for the baby. Shave her eyebrows off. So yeah, so that's the plan now. And again, I don't even know what day it is, what time it is, but I know I'm here with you, and it's fun.
It's fun.
It's good to get back.
That's
to
what
work.
it's all about.
You know,
it is, isn't it? Yeah. And it's almost it's work, but it's not work. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like a podcast.
It's
like
work
this,
for me. I have to edit all this shit after.
But
you
just,
walk away.
I walk away. We just have a chat.
You just walk home.
Yeah. Fuck, imagine. I'd be maybe home for next Christmas if I started on it. I don't know if you can see, I have very short legs. Like, you'd be surprised. 28 inches, mate.
28-inch legs? Is that like when you do, it's like waist and leg, and when you buy a pair of shorts, so you have to go for 28 leg?
So my leg's like way smaller than my waist, yeah.
Right.
Which is freaky. Like, I only discovered that when I got my wedding suit measured. They were like, the guy measured me, was like,
where's the rest of you?
What the
Stand
fuck? Up. What's your inside thigh? 28. You're then like my thigh around is the same as my leg long.
Fuck off.
Swear.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, isn't it?
That's full Jeanette cranky from the waist down.
Exactly. Like I said, like I don't know what the term you can use nowadays, but see, like I don't know if you can use the phrase, but Snow White lived with 7 of them. We'll say, right? But if you put my dimensions on a computer screen and like clicked it and just extended it, I'm the same dimensions as one of Snow White's housemates. You know, just if you compare. So, but with a smaller head. You know, so that's kind of me, see me hands and all. But
where do you shop then?
Where do I
just
shop?
Just normal places? Is it?
No, I have to go. Like, well, that's the thing, because every top I wear is a belly top too, because I'm gonna balance off short legs, long upper body. So I'm just walking around the fucking fat belly out, and he's like my fucking. I had to like the turn-ups before turn-ups were in fashion. It's not a good look to be me, like.
But then did Santa bring this, the Arsenal
Santa
jacket?
brought me the Arsenal jacket.
It's very fresh.
It is. It's nice actually, because again, I didn't know it would fit me, but it does. It fits me rightly, and it's perfect squeeze.
No, it's nice. It's nice.
And it's nice, and like Santa was good to me because the last few years, I've got fuck all. I think since I've had kids, I've been like, oh, no one cares about me anymore.
Aye, that's it. Nobody does. As soon as you have kids, that's it. Game over.
But I got a drill this year. Oh,
you got a drill?
Nice. A drill, a cordless drill, and I thought that's the best present I've got.
Full dad present now, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's great because like the drill I had. This is the thing. Catherine again is a shit shopper. Like she saw a drill in Lidl and bought it for me. She's like, "Oh, this drill in Lidl was 15 quid." I'm like, "Yeah, because shit." Because she's bought it for me, I feel like I have to use it. And like I was trying to drill, believe it or not, a hole in the wall, and it just started smoking. And it's like, fuck, what the fuck? This drill's fucked. So I got a new drill, thankfully, because the drill didn't do what it needed to do. You know what I mean? Like the only thing you could probably do is like put a fucking dildo on the end of it and spin it. Like that's about all that drill be useful for, actual drilling in walls.
Usually what I find is when you try and buy a drill that's also a screwdriver, it's going to be either a shit drill or a shit screwdriver. So you have to either buy an actual drill and then an actual screwdriver. Was this an actual drill?
This is an actual drill, but it had the screwdriver bit in it.
I see.
So, but the good thing is, what we got mugged, it came in a big like briefcase, a big green and I was like, fuck, I'm getting the works here. Opened it up and it just had space for like drill bits. So all it had was a screwdriver top and a wee charging battery. So I had to go on Amazon and buy the fucking all the drill bit pieces. But I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get going because like must have probably 6 months ago I bought these things to drill into, like we hooks to drill into the wall, but there were things to like put like exercise bands in so I could work out in my garage. I just couldn't drill it with that shit drill, so I just have not worked out in 6 months. And now I'm like, I need to get in, get my super drill out and start exercising again. Like
class. This might sound like a slag, but I seen up to half time last night and Arsenal were losing 1-0.
Yes.
How did it finish?
3-1.
To Arsenal?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yep, they won 3-1.
I thought they might have lost a bit of momentum from the World Cup, but they're continuing on where they left off.
Because they played well, and now the penalty was a soft penalty. West Ham got, I thought. It was a wee bit, and then the goals, some of the goals in the second half were great.
Who scored?
Who equalised? Yeah, Saka. Odegaard had scuffed the shot, and it just was the perfect pass in the end. Saka equalised, Martinelli scored, and Nketiah scored. Nketiah's goal was brilliant. Like it was a brilliant, because obviously with him, everyone's like, oh, he's nowhere near as good as Jesus. Now he's injured, we're fucked. But he spun. It was like nice passing movement, we spin and just finish in the bottom corner. Lovely jubbly.
Arsenal have so many great players at the minute, don't they?
Yeah, it's one of those
fresh
things where,
team too.
Yeah, like but everyone's like Arsenal are going to fall away, but they keep winning. And it's
you never know, yeah.
But as an Arsenal fan, it can all just fucking. It's a house of cards. It could crumble any minute.
Yeah.
So you just want to enjoy a game at a time and not get too excited. And then you see Saliba's not signed a contract, Saka's not signed a contract, and you go, they'll end up at Man City. Fuck's sake! But let's just hope.
How long Saka got left?
I think he's got a year just. But
really?
Yeah, but I think
he's sort him out soon.
He's supposed to love it there. And
would you take the Ox back?
No.
No.
I think he's one of these guys who's won more than his talent deserves.
I feel like he did have talent, but I think so long being out, he's never been able to build up the momentum of just playing games and having that experience.
Like you look at him, you would go, when was the prime of his career? Probably at Arsenal. He won an FA Cup or two, then went to Liverpool, won the Champions League, won the league. So when he retires and looks back on it, he'll be like, that's a sweet career. Do you know what I mean? But again, for Liverpool, it's like, when you look at Origi, you'd probably go, oh, didn't live up to the hype. But then
he's won fucking everything.
He's won everything at Liverpool, and he's probably
scored in the final.
But he's probably going to be looked at as a Liverpool legend.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Even the goal he scored against Everton, where Van Dijk hashed the volley off the bar, and it was like. But then he scored the goals in the final, and did he score another? What was the other important goal he scored? There's been a few.
Fucking Barcelona.
Yeah,
he scored the winning goal. Yeah,
exactly. So the guy,
that was amazing.
The guy's a legend. Like how that even happened. That's still like Liverpool. Must be the most up and down team to support. Like from being in the doldrums, like Istanbul, that'll never be beaten, no matter what they say. Ever.
Never. I went through a period of about 2 years of recording like big matches, like our reactions to them. And there's a couple of YouTube videos of us, and they've done really well. I've got like 500,000 views on some of them. But they're like the Dortmund game where Lovren scored in the 93rd, 94th minute. There's the Barcelona comeback. I started I think we scored like one goal, and I was like, here, I'm fucking setting us up to press record here because we're so passionate and so fucking just loving every goal that goes in. And I thought it'd be good to kind of watch back and just those memories, even for just me and my kids, you know, celebrating together and stuff. And it'd be nice to sort of watch those back in years to come. And then there was the finals and stuff that we were in. I set all those up and filmed all them too, and they're just they're great to look back on. But the amount of times, like I've never known a club to score like last minute winners and have thrilling comebacks and scoring like deep in injury time, and Alisson's goal, you know,
like that.
So many circumstances.
He's nearly won. Did you lose in the final of that Champions League that he got used to?
He scored in the league, didn't he?
But was that? Did you win the Champions League the next year, or was that the year before?
That was the year. I was during lockdown. He scored.
Yeah, you didn't win the Champions League after that. You won it
before that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be like, if that's how you won the Champions League with him.
I know.
Braun would have been
but unreal, wouldn't it?
Like, but no, I couldn't. You couldn't record me during a football game. Like, I get cancelled.
Too intense.
I lose fucking head. Like,
you call people names.
Call people names, to say hurtful things that I regret. You know, I bite my nails an awful lot. I get fucking. I get so like Arsenal were on last night, and I don't bite my nails other than when they play. I've no nails left today. It's just stressful. You know what I mean? And like, Catherine doesn't understand like how intense the football can get, like, and how annoyed. And it's nice now because I think it's kind of tied into me being a bit more positive in life.
Right.
That
it coincides with Arsenal.
Yeah, because when Arsenal are playing well, it's like life's just easier. Because when they lose, and it's always the manner in which Arsenal lose, like just shit. Just they have no heart, and they're all and like, see now looking back, there were 6 VAR mistakes that they said would be overturned. Odegaard's goal against Man United, they said was a VAR mistake, and that's the only game we've lost.
Fucking hell,
bastards.
Yeah. Do you ever look at football as a whole and look at you as an Arsenal supporter and just question everything? Because the owner made me question things a few years ago, and football hasn't been the same for me since. So I want to sort of put the question out to you and go, do you ever get to the point where you're just like, doesn't matter? Doesn't, say if Arsenal lose, Arsenal don't give a fuck about me. What am I doing here? Am I wasting my time?
But also, it's just something that can't be explained. It's like wrestling. When, you know, people are like, why do you like wrestling? I'm like, it's like watching EastEnders. You know, it's a soap. It's scripted, but it's fun to watch. You know, it's like a movie. You know, like we watched Die Hard for the first time there over Christmas. Great. Still
never seen it.
Nah, but just there. You know, that's when we watched it.
First time.
Yeah, but I loved it, and it was like, this is nonsensical, but it's fun. I think people try to overanalyze everything, and it's always they always want the reason, but why? Sometimes it just happens. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, you know, and I think with football. Like my first football memory, I went to see Arsenal at Highbury whenever they played Man City, when Man City were dirt, and beaten 3-1. Lee Dixon scored. It was 96, so I'd have been 10. And my dad says to me, like, one of the best moments of his whole life was seeing my face, seeing the pitch all lit up in the floodlights the first time.
Of course,
he was like, that's
nothing
one of
like
my,
it.
like he just loved it.
Yeah.
And like I brought Holly to see a Northern Ireland women's game. And I was like, fuck, she's going to not like this at all. But seeing her face, seeing the stadium all lit up, she's like, whoa.
Really?
It's a cool thing. And there's something just about, like, football connection. Or like, it was always something I would have sat and watched with my dad. Any Arsenal match, we'd have sat and watched it together. It would have just been a bonding thing for me and him. And
that's it, yeah.
And you just, it brings you joy. Like, and there's no, like, even, like, I didn't really, I thought the World Cup was a fucking sham. I thought going to Qatar, it's dirty money. It's all, like, the World Cup should be in the summer. You know, and I was like, nah, I don't care, and I would catch the odd game here and there, and I did kind of find myself just through times and when it was on watching a lot of the Argentina games. Like the first game I watched and went, I'm gonna watch as much as I can, was when they got beat by Saudi Arabia. That was cracking.
Their first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then it went on that final. Fuck me,
that was
amazing. Oh, but I managed to get, you know, it's like with the kids, and I managed to get Matilda down for a nap, and she's been a nightmare. Wouldn't nap during the day. Catherine wasn't well. I was like, I fucking get to see this. She napped and Holly just went and played in her room. And I was like, fucking
love
amazing.
it.
I could have sat nearly watched the whole game in peace. Like Matilda had woken up by the end. But it was just like that. Where else do you get that drama? Like I know. You don't get it.
Did you not feel as well watching it that you were watching history?
Yeah.
Like see when what do you call the Villa keeper when he did the whole thing?
Martinez,
and then when Messi got the whole the jacket and stuff
on him.
Yeah. The sexy on summer scare.
That was a weird thing. Like
it was brilliant.
Again, like this morning I woke up early and I was watching a video about Martinez, the goalkeeper, about how he was with Arsenal for 10 years and he was out on loan to Sheffield Wednesday and all these teams. And then it was like he got called up. Like he was at the Russia World Cup to support Argentina. So there's like photos of him in the stands as a fan. You know, so then to go on and win it, that's fucking amazing. Yeah. But like when he won the Copa America, he won the best goalkeeper award, and he's going with that as well. So it just must be his thing. Like, but there's a picture of him doing it, and then it's like you see one of the sheiks looking at him like. But I mean, you know what? Like people are saying, "Oh, he's a shithead and all," but you sometimes have to be. I think
you
sometimes
need those characters in football.
That's it. Sometimes football to me has become a lot more clinical in the last. It's all like it's like a business. It's not the same kind of.
It's very safe. It's very PC.
I love shits like
like the Canio.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't get players like the Canio anymore. No. Although there was a video I seen the other day of a Wolves under-19 player.
Oh shit!
What a dirty bastard! Did you see that?
I was fucking stinking.
Fucking stud straight in above the knee.
Like that was horrendous. Like and
brutal.
But yeah, it's like who like Keane. I hated Roy Keane growing up. I was like, he's one cunt.
But he was a fucking animal.
But brilliant player. Yeah, but again, you want, and I think Arsenal haven't had many of those. Like you love players that are you get in your face and like be a proper like a shit.
When Van Nistelrooy missed that penalty, Keown, everyone was up screaming in his face. That's what you need. That's what makes headlines.
You know what? Like, see if you're in the World Cup final and you have a wee fella coming up to try and score a penalty, you do what you can to put him off. Fuck him. Like at the end of the day,
and he did. Yeah, twice, was it? Three times.
He went up and he got
threw the ball away and all, didn't he?
Face and then he threw two minis, the ball away on him. But it's like, what do you want? To just stand there and be timid? Nah, you get in their heads and then they miss the penalties. So
do you not feel like at times watching those kinds of teams, and this is going to sound maybe racist, but that some of them are like win by any means fucking necessary, like any means. See if you have to cheat, see the Suarez and all those like South American teams who have grew up in extreme poverty. Yeah, they just I don't give a fuck. See if you have to boot somebody's granny in the dick, you're winning this match.
I think that's fair. Like,
do you think so?
Like you look at Suarez when he did the handball against Ghana, got sent off. You're like, oh, dirty bastard. They missed the penalty and Uruguay went through. Yeah. So you go. Who cares? Yeah. You know what I mean, oh, poor Ghana. Fuck Ghana. Yeah. You know what I mean, you're playing for Uruguay. You want them to go through. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And it's like when you watch like Argentina. Like I remember in the Saudi Arabia game, they're like this Argentina team. They don't have the same bite, or like that's what you need. You know what I mean? You need shits. Like remember when Beckham kicked.
What do you call him?
He's the fucking Simeone.
Yeah,
and he like fell down. You're like, oh, fucking he's being cheeky. He's bending the rules. Yeah, but he's not.
Same with Rooney too. It's like with England, there's a scapegoat with every tournament. And Saka, obviously in the Euros, you know. But beat fair and square this one. No complaints. Everyone thought they were going to win it, and I suppose they had a really good opportunity to win it, but France are just too good.
France are a great team, but France also I think they're certain to win the next World Cup. Like you look at all the young players they have.
The likes of Tchouameni that'll be 4 years older and more experienced.
These guys, Mbappe will be in his prime, and Mbappe's already sick. Like you look at like France's top ever goal scorer is Giroud, who's probably I'd say he's a B player. You know what I mean? He's like
I think he'll go down as a full legend.
He'll go down as a legend, but as he would never be the first name on the team sheet. And like if you look back on him, like he's built himself he's got the YouTube career. Like
if you look at his best goals, flicks and bicycle kicks and
even the goal. Amazing. Like my favourite ever Arsenal goal in terms of just a good goal was the goal Wilshere scored against Norwich. Just pass back.
Best goal I've ever seen.
But it's just that's total football right there. And I was even Giroud's back and forward and like, but Giroud he would have been a bit like I suppose Núñez now. You know, he would have wasted a lot of chances, and whenever you're like looking, going fuck, just. But then he scored that goal against Crystal Palace, the scorpion kick. You know?
Amazing. But didn't he almost score one in the World Cup?
Yeah,
that was lovely. I remember screaming at that.
I loved him until he moved to Chelsea, and I went, you bastard.
I know.
But then he went there and won the Europa League and the Champions League. So you can't. Yeah. She's won it all, everything near enough, bar the Euros. You know, which is mental for. France's top goal scorer ever. You think of some of the players they've had, Henry, fucking Zidane. Who's your top scorer? Sure.
See Andy Robertson last night broke the record, the most assists
ever. I would never have thought that.
Never. When we signed him from Hull, I was like,
this guy?
Come on, 7 million from Hull? Is this where we are?
Yeah.
Fucking somebody seen something in him that day.
But then I would have bet someone went, who's got more assists, Robertson or Trent? I'd have said Trent all day.
Fucking Joe, what do you call him? Ashley Cole,
but Robertson, and he's a shit too. Like he's got it in him, which is you need a wee bit of that thickness. Like.
See when Messi when he went down and fucking Robertson ran past and shoved him in the head. I was like, yes, I loved it.
But that goal, that Salah goal last night was dirt. See the pass, Trent and no one touch. Beautiful.
Outside of the boot.
I see lovely. That. I almost love a delivery better than a finish now. It's like, whoa. That was just dirt.
There was a couple of times during the World Cup, I can't remember any specifics, but where the build-up was like, if that had went in, that would have been the goal of the tournament. And there was a few times I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, we are livid because you're on the verge of seeing a masterpiece. Yeah. And then the last kick, somebody like Giroud puts a wide or something.
Neymar against Croatia was an absolute wonder goal. The intricate passing Brazil did.
And they actually scored.
I
can't remember.
Croatia are the most stinking team.
Aren't they?
Like they don't play good football. But then they've beaut kits, so you forget. You go, they are, but they always end up in the semis or the final. Like they get far. Like they were in the last final, didn't the France beat them in the final last time? And
didn't they beat England in the final of the Euros?
No, Italy did. But they were on the way there too. Like, but then you think Croatia have they always have one world class player like Modric is, and even now he's near 40. But it's like he's and I think your man Guardiola, the centre back, is going to be good. Like he looked like a great. He's only 20. Josep Guardiola. Unless I've just made up and call him Josep because that's Guardiola's name. I could have just done that, but yeah, I'll call him Josep Guardiola anyway. But he's fucking great, and the keeper too. He's
decent. Like
Fuck, I love football. I'm delighted it's back. There's matches on, and Amazon Prime are playing flat out. I'll get on. That's
great, isn't it? Yeah, 2 matches tonight, a match tomorrow.
Yes, Leeds. Come on, the Leeds. Fucking take a point.
Leeds versus City.
City. Yeah.
United versus Forest.
Forest. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna try and go to the pub and watch that tonight. I don't know whether I'll be able to, but I'm gonna try.
How's the alcohol situation been over Christmas? Have you hit it hard? Have you
gargled?
Give
a fuck flat out. Yeah, I've been.
Yeah. What are you into?
I like a stout, but I think that's a key. Whenever we went out for our comedians I started off in the stout, and
you were the first one there.
Yeah,
I'm one of the last to leave.
I was. No, I did a good shift. Like
you did
because I'm not a drinker anymore. I don't like that because again. The kids are just dicks, so I can't cope with them. The hangover.
Do you feel like as well? You get to the point like when you have kids, you're like, get me out of this house for as long as fucking possible.
Yeah. But I did a sneaky that night too because Tim had come and I sort of walked him out, and then on the way back from sort of walking him to the door, I'd gone to the toilet to take a piss. And we're at the back bar at Lavery's, and when I looked out again, I could see boys taking their shirts off, and I was like. This is just descending. Like the night's not going to get any better here.
Yeah, this the start of the decline.
Yeah, and I sort of felt like the spirit didn't drop, but it just
it became a different kind of night.
Yeah, in Lavery's it just wasn't like boys at the pub. It was kind of like it's getting to the point where you're either going to be totally wrote off here or you're going to go.
Yeah.
And then my sister texted me and be like, I'm leaving my mates here. Do you want to lift? And I was like. I should just sneak off here, go, and thankfully...
Because you know what? Right. That's what I did. I did full Houdini. I was sitting drinking a pint, and I looked around me, and the lads all had their tops and all off, and I was just sitting there on my own, and I just started walking towards the door and just walked to the train station. I got the train. I didn't tell anyone I was leaving. I just walked out the door. I was like, nobody's going to know.
But it's a daft thing too, isn't it? You're like, you know what? I remember once a mate of mine's dad, Kenny, he's called, and we were on holiday, and we went to Spain, and we were at their family home, and his... Kenny, and that's my mate, not my friend. My friend's called Chris, but his dad's called Kenny, right? And Kenny he taught me dad things in that holiday, and I just didn't like. I remember looking at a few things, going, "How the fuck's he know?" Like Chris's younger sister was there, and we would have been like 18 or 19 at the time, so she would have been about 16, 17, and she was like, "Dad, we're just heading down to get an ice cream here down the seafront." He's like, "Yeah, no worries, be back and whatever," and they're like, "Okay, no worries." And off went. The front door closes. He goes, "She's going to meet a boy at the pier." I was like, what? He goes, yeah, we know. And I was like, how do you know this? And she's like, I think we're stupid. And I'm like, well, I don't think you have as much intel as you have. And lo and behold, that's exactly. And he just knew, but obviously, yeah, they just be like, look, work away, we trust you, whatever. Then we went out, and a couple of us went out, proper holiday pints, ended up back, they had a hot tub in the house, and we were out the back garden. All the four fellas, not gay, in the back hot tub, bollock naked, drinking stubbies of beer at like fucking 3 in the morning. I remember one point I was just necking this beer, and then we're singing Westlife, because we were, and I stood up and singing You Raise Me Up, and I remember drinking a beer.
Now is that Westlife? You Raise Me Up. Is that Westlife?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
actually, what do you call him? Brian
Josh
Kennedy?
Groban. Oh, Brian Kennedy too, yes.
Black
Lives Matter.
Did he?
He did a version.
Did he write that? Oh, it's not his song?
No, I think Josh Groban did it, and then but it was the Westlife version I was singing, and when I stood up, so I'm going, You Raise Me Up, stood up and hit the note, opened my eyes, Kenny's at the hot tub, and I remember him saying to me, he goes, "Boys, the fun's been had. It's time to go to bed." And in that moment, I was like, the fun has been had. Like, this isn't going to get any better unless we all buck. You know, there's nothing else can happen here other than drowning, passing out and drowning in the hot tub. And I was like, you know what, he's right. And I remember looking at that moment, seeing the shirts come off, going, the fun's been had. You know,
it's wisdom, isn't it?
It is. And then
it's been passed on, obviously.
Yeah, but then you have to weigh things up too. Like, I'm always assessing the next day now. Like, very rarely will I go out and be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, I have the kids all day or, you know, stuff to do, and it's just...
I swear to God, right? We went out, what night? Was it a Monday night?
Monday, yeah.
I was still hungover on Thursday. I still had remnants of a hangover. I felt like shit.
But it was a good night. It was great. And you know what? I think that was a big thing, that not enough that we... Because again, we talked about doing something. I'd said, let's all go for pints. But you know what it's like trying to arrange anything? Everyone's just... So it got to the point where, like, right, we'll just fucking do it on Monday. We'll meet wherever. We'll go wherever. Whoever can come. Let's just do it. And it was great. And it was like... Because normally in previous years we'd have done a gig, maybe gone to Lavery's, had pints. It's nice to just take a step away from the gig side work, and just have mates. Because I mean, a lot of us are mates, and I think we need to see each other more in the social capacity without having like. Because there are some cloak and dagger things too with comedy. You're like, oh well, what if they get this? I was like, nah, just fucking leave that aside. Let's just go have pints.
Just as you said that, I thought Cloak and Dagger would be a great name for Paddy McDonald's next podcast. If he meets someone who has a nickname called Cloak and Dagger, is a good one, isn't it? Maybe William Thompson could wear a cloak every week. They could change their name.
All I thought was Paddy with a cloak on and nothing else.
The dick out.
Just his dick out, yeah. Maybe the dick. He could be the cloak and the dagger could be the... Man.
That's a late night Patreon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely. Cloak and Dagger, that's a show name for him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, his last show is called Story, so I think he's run out of names. So I think the next one's just got to be...
Under the Tools. Was it Under the Tools 3 or something?
On the Tools 3.
On the Tools.
Stories, and then the next one be Paddy on stage talking about stuff. You know, so just get Cloak and Dagger on, put a jacket over him, get his wab out.
Yeah, a few card tricks.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, isn't it? A big wand.
Fuck, I don't know if it's a big one, like, but it's magic anyway. Yeah. Definitely potent.
When you were talking about wrestling there,
yeah,
straight away what popped into my head was I seen a video on Instagram about 2 weeks ago, and it was one of the best videos I've ever seen in my life, right? And I guarantee you've seen this clip. Someone was standing like this here with somebody laying on the ground, and then it went pitch black and the Undertaker music came on. 5 seconds later the light came on, the fella was all and the Undertaker sat up, but it wasn't him that was there on the ground the first time. Have you seen it?
Yes. CM Punk,
was it?
Well, he was the one celebrating.
It might have been.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me something else.
Brilliant.
I need to show you. I'm going to show you this on the podcast just to watch it. I swear. I'd only ever seen this the first time, like, this week, and I actually showed Catherine. I said, "Listen, I know you don't like old wrestling. Clip? It's like a podcast clip, right? But it's Hulk Hogan talking about something, and honest to God,
did he say the N-word?
No, not this time. He took he took a day off, but it was just the way he told the story. I swear, like, the tears are running down my face.
Did you buy that fizzy juice over Christmas with the N-word in it?
No,
it's a racial slur.
No, I just did regular slur.
Regular slur.
Yeah, it's just of course white slur, but let me see if I can find this because let me look it up. I've been sent the link and I can never find it. And let's talk about something else while I do because it'll make for shit content here.
Okay. When we started talking about football, I was instantly thinking of all the followers and all the people who would listen to this would instantly just be like, Joe, and take me out.
Yeah.
When you're like,
bing, bada, bing,
this
bing,
is
bing,
my
bing.
podcast and we're going to talk about football. And they're all the boo, 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 all the lights go off. And that was instantly what I thought of when we started talking about football. But at the same time, we don't talk about football enough.
No. And I mean, and I found the video. Right, hold on.
Heard about myself was my wife accused me of having the worst rumor that I ever heard about
Let me stick it up there.
Yeah.
Was my wife accused me of having an affair with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. It's a crazy story. It was right after Brutus's parasailing accident, and Brutus had to sleep in a chair straight up with his head packed in ice, and Brutus had this really good-looking girlfriend, and I guess while everybody was sleeping, Brutus called her over, and all of a sudden, my ex-wife's grandmother came downstairs, and she saw this blonde head going up and down on Brutus's lap. This blonde head was given Brutus oral sex. And the next morning when I came down for breakfast, Linda's whole family was mad at me. I couldn't figure it out. And the grandmother Nene goes, I saw you giving Brutus oral sex. They thought it was my blonde head, but it was really Brutus the Barber Beefcake's girlfriend. So that, without a doubt, is the worst rumor that I've ever heard about myself. My ex-wife.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, yeah. Hogan just being gay. It's just another blonde, big blonde hair sucking Brutus's dick. Oh,
I think that needs you need to see the back of the headshot of both of them to sort of because that's a stupid mistake to make.
Yeah.
That like who makes that mistake?
An old lady that thinks, "Hey brother, what are you gonna do when the Hulkamania goes down on you, dude?"
He just rips his face off. No, starts gobbling. You still watch wrestling then?
I do sometimes, you know.
What's it on these days? It used to be on Sky One,
YouTube,
remember?
kind of is just where I would watch
YouTube?
clips now, but like I wouldn't be like watching it every week. I would just see stuff through social media, really.
Pay-per-views though? Would you buy a pay-per-view?
I'd maybe watch WrestleMania if I would, because again, I think, like you said there about football, sometimes you go, you know what, I could be doing other stuff. I'm watching wrestling right now.
That's it. Because when you have kids and stuff too,
weird,
you have to prioritise, don't you? You really do. Whereas mostly anytime I watch football now, it's 9 times out of 10 just a Liverpool match, or I have the odd match on in the background.
Because you would have been obsessed, like you would have watched any game.
I loved it, I loved it. Yeah. I think Diona, now not to put the blame on her, but she did mostly ruin it for me years ago when she was like, "Why are you wearing the football top? That's so childish." And I was like, "But it's my team." And she goes, "But nobody can see it."
But does she see like Beyonce's makeup or something and buy that?
I know,
you know what I mean?
Exactly,
so
David. Exactly.
You just gotta, you know,
yeah.
You should say to her, "Oh, sorry,
put the cat amongst the pigeons."
Yeah, who's that you're wearing? Coco Chanel?
Yeah.
Are you
Ivy
Coco
Park?
Chanel? Nah, who the fuck even is Ivy Park?
You're fucking Lurgan Park.
Sounds like some Korean bitch. Fucker.
I know, I should have turned it back on her, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Never thought of that. No. I just sat there crying.
Yeah. Then like I say to Catherine, well, who's Primark? Like, what the fuck are you? So you think, okay.
Where's Postmark? What's he look like?
Yeah. But no, I think she kind of. But again, what I would get shit about from her would be whenever I'm in a fucking mood after a game. Be like, those fucking wasteful bastards are fucking.
So not as much anymore. I'm just the game's over. Like we got beat by City the other day, 3-2.
Yeah. Straight
after the game, turned it off. Couldn't care less.
That was bullshit too.
Carabao Cup, I know.
But why are you playing so soon after the World Cup? It was weird. I was like, what are you doing? Have a break.
I know.
Fuck me.
And why come back with a cup match first?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like your wife's been away for 6 months and she comes back and goes,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
It's been 6 months.
I know. That's fucking gobble.
Get on.
Do the Hogan. Yeah, do the works. But nah, it was weird in the league. At least that was a good Liverpool match the other night. Who were playing
last night?
It was 2 nights ago, wasn't it? Or no, was it last night
before the Arsenal match?
Fucking right, yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool. I've just slagged you now for a shit memory, and I can't remember. Aston Villa.
That's who it was.
Yeah. Here,
that was a good game.
Fucking the Aston Villa striker. What do you call him? Who scores against us every single time we play? He's great.
Ollie Watkins.
Yeah. Is he English?
He is, aye.
Where's he? Why is he nowhere near the England team?
I don't know. Sure, Ivan Toney wasn't until he's fucking doing all the bets of the day. I think Ivan Toney's great.
Did anything ever come of that?
Well, I mean, he's been charged with like 265.
Why is he playing? Because he scored yesterday, didn't
he? Yeah, but I think it must have been on like lower league games or something, or you know, foreign league games, or you know, things that I don't think directly impacted what he was doing. But I still don't think you're allowed to bet. Now, this might sound I've known some fellas who've played Irish league football. And like you would hear the old rumor being like, "Oh, so team are putting out a fucking B team today. Stick your house on it." I know there's a bit of that going on, but I know they don't bet directly themselves, you know. But I miss that. That's one thing I do miss about work. See, whenever you were working with guys, and they'd be like, "Oh, here, it's like so and so say like fucking Glenavon. They've all the Glenavon boys have flew, so it's going to be their youth team today. So stick all your money on fucking Ballymena or whatever. You know, that's the insider knowledge I miss now. You know, because then
I don't get it anymore.
Because I remember I actually have not bet in a long time because my house is up to remortgage this year, so I don't want them to hand over my bank statements and go, "Oh, you're a gambler." I'm like, well, I mean, I put a £1 on every week in the accumulator, like
fucking Dave 365.
Exactly. So I mean, I don't want to, but I would normally would have stuck 20 quid in the account like the start of the World Cup and just pound at a time, but I didn't even bother this time, just through the mortgage. But that's what I liked. I mean, I've had Irish leagues earned me some decent coin over the years now.
Really?
Yeah, just from insider tips and things, you know.
From your old work. Yeah.
A lot of guys were into it, like.
Yeah.
And again, never against their own teams or anything like that, but it's just other words in the street, you know. So and so's got hepatitis in his dick, so he can't play nets today. So and I don't have a sub keeper, so they're playing Decky O'Hara from fucking Screwfix and that's today, just, you know. So we things like that you miss.
I seen a thing recently as well of a fella who bumped into somebody at the airport, and it was like was it like a United player from maybe 5 years ago who started to climb the ranks and then nothing happened to him, and he goes, what are you up, mate? And he goes, I'm off to sign for fucking LA Galaxy. And he goes, right. He pulled out his fucking thing and bet that he would sign for LA Galaxy. The next day he signed for them. The fellow won like 20 grand. It's the way to do it, isn't it?
Yes, that's fucking. I tell you, my favourite footballing story, which again, I don't know if you could have bet on this, it was just classic. I was in Newcastle years ago, and mates of mine were at uni.
Pontine, mate.
A point photo, and I have a photo with Gaza, mate.
With Jeff,
But
Bike of Grove.
It was in fucking PJ and Duncan. You're right, mate. And we were out and we're blitzed, and we ended up in a lap dancing club, and it was just a nice time. But we all, you know, when you're a student, you can't really afford anything other than just having pints and looking at the old ditty going around the pool. So we were there, and there was obviously the next, like the private dance section, VIP section. We were all hammered, and then out of this booth with these two fucking mega babes come Celestine Babiaro and Albert Luque. So they came down together with their arms, and we were blocking, Babiaro and Luque, and we're like, "Oi," and to be fair to them, Babiaro came over and fucking throwing out the high fives, having the crack of last week. What a legend, on he goes.
Fish fingers.
Then, I mean, I think close enough to get out of a whiff, but his dick smelled the
smell
scampi fresh. But the next day, we got up in the morning, you know, when you're dying, and we went round to like a local bakery. We all got fucking like pasties, and we're back in the flat, all this lying on the sofa. Sky Sports News just on the background. You see the yellow bit along the bottom, and it was a Saturday, so it was a team news for like Newcastle team news. It was like along the bottom. Celestine Babiaro ruled out with a groin strain, and we pissed ourselves. We were like, fucking right, he has. I was like, that made a lot of sense, and it was just fucking hilarious.
That's amazing.
So the big man's just, obviously and then Luque was just always injured, but when he signed, like, he was a big money signing, Luque, like, he was like proper, and that was just a lot of fun.
How long was that? About 10 years ago?
Easy, maybe
more than that?
like, yeah, because I'm 36 now, I must have been like 20, probably 16 years ago, but it was just Babiaro was just a great character, like.
Yeah, he seems it. Fun. I was in Newcastle about 4 years ago for my brother's stag, and I felt like I had gone back in time to the 70s. We went into some bar, and there was a match coming on. I think it was a Newcastle match, and we were like, right, come on, we'll fucking soak up the atmosphere. It was like 2 hours before the playing. And we went into some bar, and we were debating about where to go, and they were all, here, there's fucking strippers in this one, come on, we'll go in here. So we went into some bar, and I was just sitting there, and I was so embarrassed, and so I was like, I don't want to be here. And then a DJ came on, but it was like a fella in like his 60s. And then this girl came out and started like stripping and dancing and stuff, but it was like way at the back of the room. And it was in that place where, was it the England team during Euro 96? Remember that whole celebration where McManaman squirted the thing in Gaza? Yeah. But that all came to some dentist chair. It was in that bar. But it was like the olden days. And this girl was stripping, and this guy was playing, like maybe it was fucking Till I Come or whatever, do you know? But he kept putting the music down. He was all right, love, come on, we haven't seen enough here, get the fucking tits out. But really crude and really like she was a piece of shit. And he was almost like slagging her off, and he goes, don't just fucking give us one, love, give us the fucking two of them, come on, you fucking daft slag. And we were all, my brothers thought nothing of it, or my younger brother and all their mates, and it got to a point where it was like real, just like lads, pints, and they were doing like the boxing machine and all, and the stripper up the back and the Newcastle match on, and I just went to Greg's and just fucking phoned the owner and just had a wee sausage roll to myself. I was like, this is not me.
And Bernard Manning comes in and does a 20, and it's like, but that's the thing, because I remember like we were in Magaluf, and it was something like there were just like old school MCs. There was this guy, and he was young enough, but he was short, like in between the songs, so he'd play like the songs, and I don't even think he was a DJ. I think he was just like the MC. So it's like, I used to he looked like, you know, your man Turgoose out of like This Is England. He looked like him grown up, and he was like, and like the DJ was playing like, again, Pretty Green Eyes, so he would be like, just stop the music and be like, get your fucking rats out, rats out, and then just cut back to music and be like, pretty green eyes, like singing really nice, but then just fucking saying these horrible things. Shows you Quim, oh, and it was just, and you just back then go, this is a weird environment. But those old school, like, fucking, show us a bit of tit, you fucking, get your ass out.
Yeah.
Whoa,
this was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what century are we in? Never mind what fucking year.
It sounds like a sketch out of Benidorm or something.
Yeah,
So
it was horrific.
Wild.
I'd been to one other strip club before, and
Yeah.
I never ever like I hate them. I see the point. I see why people would go. I see why girls would want to work there, but I just take nothing to do with it. And there was one other time I was there, and it was for a stag do about 15 years ago for my cousin. And I remember it was like it was in Liverpool, and when you pay in or whatever, you get a free dance.
Yeah, guys, like, get your fucking tits out, please. Show us your fucking
get it out, love.
Show us your ass.
And we were in there, right? And I was just sitting there, and I was like, I didn't even want to look up, so I was so embarrassed to be there. But my other cousin, who was probably 10 years older than me, was fucking loving it. And he, as far as I knew, he was a full virgin, like, you know, when we were going over there. And it was like, I think he had no experience with women. I'd never seen him with a girlfriend. He was loving it. And I remember the song Simply the Best came on, and I've never thought of that song or heard it without thinking of my cousin. And he had his hands behind his head, and he was getting a private dance, and he was like a here, and he was just mouthing the words of the song while this girl was dancing on him, and he was like, "Call you simply the breast."
Oh man, it's a different environment. Isn't it?
I wanted to die.
Oh, like the last lap dance that I had was on my stag, and I didn't want it. You know, like I'd been on stag days.
Why
before,
would you? Especially in
like,
a group of friends.
But
and
whenever
stuff.
you're getting married too, like I don't want to do. I remember like they try to like get you to touch them all and grab your hands, be like, put your hands here. I remember I was like doing it like I had something wrong with me. I was like, no, and she was like, so I remember at one point like she just set her boobs on my hands like wee hooves, like wee, and I was like, no, and and then it was like hit me in the face, and one of my mates were like, that's fucking good crack, and I was like, no, I don't like this. Can I go? Like, whereas if I've been before, you know, when I'm single and all, I'll be like, oh, this is fun here. You know, you're all going. You know, it was that time. I was like, no, leave me alone. Get your large Portuguese biddies away from me, would you? For fuck's sake. You know, but it's a strange environment, like, and people are there. Like, I remember when I went to one in Magaluf when I was 18, and we were in this, and we're sitting, but it was so funny because I've been to a couple of things before where I've gone to me, I'm not here for the sexual stuff, I'm here for what's going to be fun for me. So, for example, we were in this one, and we were getting a dance, and my mate was right opposite me, and then I remember the bunch saying, don't move your hands, but we were just sitting like this, and I was just staring him out, like not looking at what was going on. I got kicked out. But then the same mate we went to, it was another stag do in Amsterdam, and we were like, we'll go to the red light district just to see what it's about. So there was like a peep show bar, and I got in my head, I'm like, I'm going to do something fun here. So I was like, whatever way it works, there's like a wee peep show, and it's so seedy and horrible. But like it just opens, just a woman just in a wee thing spinning around and like with her ditties out, and you're like, that's it. But I said to myself, as soon as I go in here, when the wee peep show, I'm just gonna find my mate and just stare him out the whole time. So the thing came down, and he was directly in front of me, and I just stared at him like this, and like I could see him like looking, you know, at the girl, and then you see him like kind of like looking up at me, and the whole time I just stared him out, and he's like, I had to leave. I don't know what you were doing, but it was fucking weird. I was like, that was all I went there for. A bit of fun. Couldn't tell you what the girl was doing or whatever, because I was just staring at him.
Just staring at your mate.
It was so fun. But I think probably, you know. But I know another guy who I went to school with who's not really, we're not friends, but this story's so funny. He travelled America by himself for years, and then he met up with a mate, and then they went to a strip club. And I think in America, I've never been to a lap dancing club in America. I don't know what goes on here, but I think they're a bit more like hands on, so to speak. Right. So he said he went in this place, paid money to like watch a strip show or something, and thought it was like a wank booth he was in. And he just went in, wove the lanyard out, and started going to work. And the girl was like, no, put that away, stop that. And he was like, oh fuck, scundered. He thought it was like double-sided glass, and he just went in.
No way.
And then he said he had to leave, get thrown out, and he was like, oh no, I've done a sex crime there. Shit.
He splashed all over the glass.
Yeah, like, let me finish. But yeah, guys are gross like that now.
Are there strip clubs here?
No. DUP
definitely not. They won't have it.
But there are brothels.
There are brothels, I've heard. Yeah, there's a few kind of
road direction.
What do you call those? Like a spa as well? Is there not a few of those?
Yes, I think there was obviously the Pipeworks for a while beside the Kremlin.
Literally?
I think you go in there and you do get some work on your actual pipe. But then I think someone was, I don't want to say bucked to death in the Pipeworks, but died in the Pipeworks.
Really?
And that's bad for business. I think what it was just high blood pressure and hot sauna. Then apparently I heard like there's big sex swings and all in there, and you had like dark rooms, so you just go in and just feel your way around. You'd be like, oh, where's our handle there to hold on to?
And then goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never been, but so far. But again, my eyes were open to like bathhouses and stuff, and that Dahmer TV show on Netflix. You know, you would go to the bathhouse and just loads of naked dudes, and I mean, I love a spa and I love a sauna, but I don't think
you love a serial killer too, though.
I do, but I wouldn't like to be wanked in a bathhouse. Like I like a sauna should just be dry heat, no spunk. That's my rule.
Yeah,
we'll keep it spunk free.
Yeah, sauna man or a steam room man?
Sauna 100%.
Definitely steam room.
Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because maybe I'm the asthma boy. I like dry heat better.
I am too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. But I do like both. I wouldn't say if someone said hop in the steam room, I wouldn't go, nah, you're all right.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of cold water though. Did a plunge pool before.
Hate it. I did. I trained as a water sports instructor. Excuse me. About
like actually, or
like sort of got
like
full
say in the bathhouse. I was a water sports expert. Bukkake boy.
As the window cleaner.
Paddy Bukkake.
That's funny because there's an actor called Paddy Buchanan. That's
yeah.
fucking Paddy Bukkake.
I was thinking about Paddy McGee, yeah.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, still works. I'm going to call him next time I bring him on stage subconsciously. Paddy Bukkake, everybody. Oh,
brilliant.
Yeah.
I worked as a water sports instructor, and we trained over the winter so that we could work in the summer. So we did a 6-month training course that started in September and ended in March. And it was, people are going to think that's fucking 7 months, that's not 6, dickhead. But it was over like autumn and winter, and there was times when we had like, the wee sort of crash helmets on, like when we were kayaking and stuff, and we had to like break the with our helmets going under the water, and there was a thing on the head, and it was a and there was a kayak roll that we had to learn how to do. That once you went underwater, you did this kind of movement with your paddle, and it got you back up out of the water, so that you didn't have to get out and somebody would have to come and help you empty your boat and all this here shit. And it was horrific. It was months of just hell. And we would, in order to do this kayak roll and to perfect it, our instructor would be like, go down again, and your head would be, like when you eat too much ice cream, you have head freeze, and
your actual head was getting that. Oh
like
my God.
agony, like fucking agony. And because I hated the cold water the most, your fella just kept used to go to me, go again, and I'd have to do it like 15 times. Everyone else 3 and 4, and they come up and they're all lads, being lads in front of other lads. And I was coming up and I was all, where is everybody?
Would you not feel totally rejuvenated and refreshed after being in that cold water?
No.
Like all your troubles, all your anxiety just gone?
Nah, we were sick every fucking week.
No, it sounds fucking horrendous.
It was horrible. But it was great to see when you actually worked it in the summer, and you were taking like groups out banana boating and stuff, and they were all falling in the water and getting the banana boat back up. You just jump in and have a wee swim and get back out, and away you go again. It was a really cool job when the weather was amazing. But then when I had a young family and all too, it was like the dream was to go to like Ibiza or Tenerife or something and work as a sort of water sports instructor out there, which a few of them did. But I didn't get that opportunity because obviously children ruin your entire life.
Bastards,
I know. How are the girls? Are they good? Did Santa come?
No, Santa came and they were good. Like, and I don't know, they were twats. Like, he shouldn't have come. They should have got coal. But you know, who am I to say? They brought them good presents.
Coal's too expensive.
Yeah,
cheaper to get fucking toys.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Just give him an economy 7 heater and fuck up. You know, just old school, stick it in the spare room and shut up. But no, I still want to talk about cold water before we get on to the kids, like, because I did a podcast with Michael Conlon. He just fucking loves the cold water too much, like to the point that I'm like,
the ice baths. Yeah,
and I was like, listen, I know you're a professional. I know you're a fucking dedicated professional athlete, and you're fucking brilliant and all, but don't be in the cold baths too. And he goes, no, try it. Just get into the shower. And like I like to treat the shower like I'm in a spa. I like it nice and warm. I like to put
you brush your teeth and all in the shower, don't you? It's your multi-purpose. Like you piss and everything.
I don't know shit. I don't piss. It's vulgar. But I'm now into like doing my flossing. I don't do my flossing in the shower. I do my flossing in front of the mirror.
Like this here, like
I do the dancing and all in the shower. But no, I'm really into my teeth these days because I don't want to go to the hygienist anymore. So I do that now. I still clean the teeth in the shower. But he said to me, "Oh, turn it cold," and I was like, because like I'm a bit of a spoofer. I think people spoof about things. I think things are just bullshit. For example, when people are like, "Oh, I've had too many coffees," I'm like, "Nah, caffeine doesn't seem to hit me for whatever reason." So I said the cold shower. Nah, and he goes, "Oh, just get in, turn it down to cold, and stand there for 30 seconds." I said, "I'm going to do it," because I consider myself to be quite hard. You know, I think because if I have an erection, not a dysfunction, the opposite. I'm just permanently aroused. But I consider myself to be able to take, you know, fucking tough enough. I'll do this. And I turned the shower down, and I remember like instantly when it went cold, I could just feel like my breathing getting fucked up. I was like, oh fuck, am I having a...
Really?
And I had to just properly go, and I counted to 30 in my head. And see, when I got out, I was like buzzing. Like, it was like whatever had happened, but just my whole body was like reacting, like, and I've only ever done it once, you know. But I think I did a plunge pool in the Galgorn, which I don't think is the same thing, because then you jump in and you come out and hop in a bubble bath again. Different. But yeah, I definitely think there's something in it. Like,
is it proven? Is it scientifically proven that it benefits you? Like, I know, as you're saying, like your mind and stuff and everything is sort of almost like it's like somebody powers you on almost, isn't it?
But that's what Michael Conlon said. It's like he doesn't do it for any physical reason. It's like a mental test for him. It's like, if you can go through this, you know. I definitely see that. But I did get like the tingle. I think what happens too is when you get in, your body's so cold, it's like rushes blood to the part, and then you obviously get a wee bit of a high. Like, you know your man Wim Hof, who's like the Iceman?
Yeah.
I bought his book actually because I saw Michael Conlon in an ice bath, and he was talking with Wim Hof, and I was like,
he went to some retreat or something with him, didn't he?
And I thought I'd like to read about that, because obviously, again, I think sea swimmers are spoofers, and they just run in and go, dip their fanny and leave.
Because they've big fucking things on too, big wetsuits and all, don't they? So it's cheating.
But I think, like, if you're actually in the ice bath, like I've seen like boxers do that, and there must be something to it. Obviously, recovery and blood going to muscles and damaged tissues and what. But I just want to know the reason behind it. Because your man Wim Hof, like, he's been doing it for years now. He looks like a homeless guy. So you look at him and go, well, I mean, he doesn't look like the kind of guy that does his life together. He looks like the kind of guy that, like, does crack flat out.
Yeah.
But that's my book. So that's one of my, like, resolutions I want to do. I want to read 12 books this year. So I want to read a book a month. That's one of my resolutions, to read a book a month. And I've got the Iceman Wim Hof to start me off.
Doesn't give you much time though to learn how to read. You've about 3 days.
I've a couple of days, but I think what I'll do, I get audiobooks if I'm stuck. True. You know, and do that
for long journeys.
Yeah, exactly. Like to hear this is a nice week drive. Could listen to the podcast. It was all good. And speaking of, what about yourself? Do you have any targets, goals, resolutions this year?
I used to, but I've became less competitive as I've got older. Do you know, obviously because of having kids and just I have a lot of other things going on. I've sort of like a finger in a lot of pies. So
and they could have bathhouse.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would obviously like to do a solo show this year, as I know we talked inside before, in prison. McGarry.
Yeah.
But I know we did speak about doing solo shows and stuff this year, but I hate selling myself online.
Oh, mate, that's the worst
hate it,
thing.
and I think I hate it to the point where I refuse to put a show on because I think it was early December or late November, back in '63. What a very special time for me. I contacted a few people, and I was like, I'm gonna organize like a tiny tour. Yeah. Like, I'm talking 30 to 50 seaters. Yeah. And just see how I get on. Where there's absolutely no pressure. I'll post about them 2 or 3 times. They'll hopefully sell out. That'll be the end of it, and I'll go and do this tour. Yeah. But financially, it's not really that big of a deal. So what is the point? And I got to the point where I was like, right, people can sell these or people can buy these for Christmas presents. Yeah. It'll be, good fun. We'll both benefit, and then they'll sell quicker too. And I got to the point about 3 or 4 days had passed, and I was like, nah, just not going to do it. Yeah. So see,
that's it. I think you need to look at what you want to do yourself. That's it with me. It's like, what could I? Like, I've been doing big shows the last couple of years, and it just stressed me out. You know, and this year, see, when I got Munster Hall finished this year, I was like, you know what? I'm not worried about selling this, because that's all I cared about was selling it out. And it's the show itself should be the priority. And I think a lot of people just put on shows and consider it to be a success if it sells out. And you wait a wee bit longer when the show's ready, put on a show, you know. But this year, I haven't really done resolutions for years, and now this year I've gone, actually, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to set things, but they're going to be
realistic targets. They have to be realistic.
They're not work based for a change. So like the reading the 12 books, I want to do that. I think that the reason behind that is that it'll get me into bed a bit earlier and maybe get me into a bit of a better routine. I'm also a fiend for eating McDonald's breakfast. So I'm not going to have any McDonald's in 2023. That's my target. And no matter what it is, I love McDonald's. I never slight them in day.
It's the greatest.
I just bad for my ticker, like, so I'm just going to avoid that. And then I'm going to try to just be, and again, in the past, I've been like, I'm going to work out every day. It's like, that's not feasible.
It's unrealistic.
I need to do maybe at least 2. I want to have at least 2 weight workout sessions a week, and then try and do 10,000 steps a day. They're my targets.
Sweet.
And I believe if I do that, that'll keep me more focused on other work related stuff. You know what I mean? So
how many steps do you do on average per day?
I try to do 10. You know, to be honest,
That's a
I think.
lot though.
Yeah, but because with a dog, I would walk him most
I
days.
suppose, yeah.
But
morning and night, or just one?
big one in the morning, and then like just round the block at night or something. Because he's a retriever. He's like, he likes to walk, but he's like, he has all the energy in the world for maybe like he could run, and then he's done. And see, once he's done, he's like, right, just take me home. So you can either take him for a walk and he can go the whole way, or you take him somewhere like a field and throw a ball for him. He goes so bucked off, and then he just lies down.
Well, he's a retriever, isn't he?
Yeah,
retrieves things.
But I just fucking love that guy. You know, I think, honest to God, I think he has like, I don't want to say saved my life because that's a bit fucking dramatic, but like there were times where, you know, to shower your head and like exercise a bit, because like I think I've been more sick the last number of months just with colds and things, and I've not been able to consistently stick at a plan. But him having to walk him has meant I've done something. So even when I'm feeling like fucking lethargic and miserable, he needs walked. You do that, it just perks you up. Like going for a walk does wonders. Like,
does that not almost maybe like make you think that's a routine if nothing else?
Yeah.
So, and if you benefit from that and you do see the point of it, would you not add more things to your routine that you can 100% do every single day?
Because like I'm 100% a routine guy. You know what I mean? And I like to have things to follow. And again, because I came out of working a 9 to 5 to be my own boss, I still have to be like a certain day I do the podcast, a certain day I do this, because I just work better that way. Otherwise I'd find myself just like, you know, at the end of the crystal maze, all the money and the thing, you're like, there's so many fucking things to do and I can't gather it. So like I like to know what I'm eating for a day, what I'm doing, you know, I like to know it in advance, and it definitely helps. But I think now this year, now I'm used to being self-employed and know what I need to do, know where I need to go, and yeah, I'm excited about this year. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going into it with dread or like last year I was like, I need to be doing this and this so I can pay the bills. Now I'm like, if I can't pay the bills, I go to prison. Who gives a fuck? You know?
That's it. That's what it is.
I think you know what? I think I enjoy prison.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you get 600 quid coming in, don't we, next month for this fucking heating thing?
Yeah.
So there you go. There's January paid for.
And I gamble, you know. There you go. Happy days. But yeah, if I was in prison, I could be work out. That could be my hobby every day. I could read my books. Like maybe read fucking 14 books.
Full sky.
Yeah, full sky.
Learn new language. You get a fucking uni course.
Exactly. I think I did during the first lockdown. I applied to a few like
prisons?
Online courses. A few prisons. I'm like, yeah, Wormwood Scrubs. Like, oh, footsie. But I did that, and I was like, I'm going to learn like how to edit videos and all. After like a day, I'm like, nah, I'll probably just watch TV. That's fucking sweet instead. But
YouTube is the place for everything, isn't it? Like YouTube, I think will never die because you can watch how to do anything. It's the best.
I love it. And I love, like, because again, I would watch the majority of things on YouTube than anything, you know. And like, the good thing is too, like when you're a die, you're expected to do shit like DIY and all. I have no baldy, so I would just go on YouTube and find something and try to do something, you know, something similar to that.
And then, do you know what I'm enjoying at the minute too? Gary Neville going for wee walks with people.
Yeah, that's fucking brilliant.
Overlap?
Yeah,
the overlap.
It's brilliant.
Love it.
And like, I think that's YouTube's a good space. Isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like life is good at the minute. You know, it's a nice time. Yeah, and it's great. And speaking of which, did you enjoy the first lockdown or not?
I think it did. I think it affected me in a negative way, but I think overall I did enjoy it. I think I got a lot out of it. I got fit as fuck. I did about 10 marathons. Yeah. Over lockdown.
Just in here in this room, round.
Just round circles, 43,000 times.
Yeah.
So it was worth it, like, with the heat up full.
And how do you feel, do you feel you've changed any since the lockdown?
I don't know, to be honest. Do you ask that because you have?
No, because I definitely have become more solitary. Like, I prefer, like, to me, like, if I'm not working, I want to just be home with my wife and kids. You know, that's kind of it. I just want to be in the house with them, doing things with them. And like, it's been sad a bit because, you know, sometimes you don't see your mates as much, or you maybe have the relationships changed a bit with some of them because you just don't talk as much, or you don't. But at the end of the day, it's like you have your own wee life, and you know, like I love the gaff, I love where I live in Bangor and stuff, and down by the seas, just that's it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a wee bit like I'm like, you know, Roy Keane's just a grumpy old man. He just likes to hang out with his dog. It's kind of like me, you know. I just think I'm happy to.
You just find a wee back path down some rich estate and just take your dog down there and
just watch people get dressed at night. You know? But you know, I think that's it. Like, for me, like going out, I'm happy to find a wee corner of a pub that does good Guinness and just to chat. You know, that's
no queues,
happiness. Yeah,
no teenagers, no club music,
no ditties, just a couple of old boys. shooting the shit, having a stout.
It's the way to do it.
Happy days.
Me and Diona were actually talking recently about our next house that we'll buy after this one, and we're 100% thinking like it has to be by the ocean or by a lake or something. It has to be.
Yeah.
Do you recommend it your way?
Would you consider coming out my way?
100%. Yeah. Because when you think about it, like my youngest boy, Tom, is almost 14. He's touching 14. So in 2 to 3 years, he's going to be.
I should touch 14 with them.
The cops. So he, in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be to the point where he's going to be thinking about university and stuff. So that's when we're going to start thinking, like, you know, we've.
Honestly, now, whenever we moved to where we were, Catherine's Belfast through and through. She was like, nah, don't want to move to Bangor. It was only an idea because the folks live out that way, both my parents, her parents, and it would be handy with Holly, who was only a few months old at that point. And I would have been, like, I lived in Crawfordsburg, Hollywood, and up until I was 17, and then folks moved to Crawfordsburg, and I lived there for a few years. Then moved to East Belfast, you know, and I like Belfast and all, but I think for families and stuff, like, see down where we are, it's fucking class, like, and Catherine said, we'll go there for a year, and if we don't like it, we'll look at Belfast again. I said, all right, and she's like, I wouldn't live anywhere else now. Really? It's just, because again, my biggest thing was, it's quite far out for gigs, 25 minutes, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck's sake, Dave, 25 minutes to go. Train's great down there, you know, it's just, fuck, I just love it. Scenic as well. It's all lovely, mate. See down the peninsula, best spot, and then you just have the dog, and he's just fucking great crack, like, just let him off and on they go. And I just think, like, that's the thing, like, you'd be stuck in the house miserable, and you just go down to the sea and you get a bit of fresh air about you, you feel made up again, you know. So I would say it's definitely worth a while to come down and look, because I remember we had friends who bought a house, and it was like, literally, you could have just gone, that is our house, but it's in a different area, Belfast, you know. And it was our house. I think they spent like $100,000 more on their house than we did, and it was like the exact, like, it could not have been more. Like, in fact, our gardens and stuff were better, but it's in Belfast, you know what I mean?
I thought Bangor would have been the same.
I think it's
if
going
not more expensive.
It's going a bit more expensive now, but like, Bangor's class for young families and like people our age. If you're a teenager or whatever, you'd be bored of your dick. Like, there's not much, no nightclub life or whatever. And like, even when I was 17 or whatever, you'd always gone to Belfast. But you know, for young kids, it's brilliant. Like, and it's peaceful and quiet. Like, because I said that we were actually talking about last night. Like, we have quite a small bathroom in the house, and like, when the girls get older, we're going to need 4 bathrooms. You know, 100%. Like, 1 for each girl and 2 for Catherine, and then me and Finney will just shower at the back. We need to look at that. But I was even saying, like, I would almost extend our house and then move, because it's like, see, at night, it's dead quiet. The neighbours are all class. You know, it's just a nice wee quiet. And for me, being a grumpy old solitary man, it's perfect.
Definitely something to consider. 100%. Yeah.
Listen, I'm selling it to you. Come on down.
Oh, we will. Yeah, we'll have to do something outside of stand up and work, because this is the first time you've ever been in our house. I mean, me and Diona were talking this morning too. We were like, I don't think we've been in any other comedian's house ever. Like, why? Yeah. No, come on, listen, because I'm all for that. I think I feel sometimes like it's better to be like, do social things with comedians, because again, there's that element of when you see everybody in work, it's like you get yourself paranoid. You go, are they actually? Are we friends or are we colleagues? Like, I know. Or are we human? Or are we dancers? And I'm neither. You know. I know. But I think yes, we'll have to get you down some night and have. We'll figure something out. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be good. Yeah, I feel like I just invited myself to your house. I didn't mean it that way, but
come on down. We'll give you the grand tour of North Down, and
please, that'd be lovely.
Now the courthouse. That's what you should do. You should do a show in the courthouse. It's fucking amazing.
You were saying definitely brilliant. That'd be lovely.
You know, great spot.
There was something I was going to say to you just before we wrapped up, and I fucking cannot remember now. And it came to me again there about 10 seconds ago, and then I forgot again. I'm trying to think of what we talked about recently. Do you know what? I'll talk to you off camera. Do you know what it was? Do you know what it was? For years, I have went to gigs and I have fucked off straight after my set. And for years, I have felt like that has been to my detriment with other comedians, because I don't have as close a relationship with all the lads as I would like to. But you're now going to speak on behalf of everybody else, but do you now see why I had to leave?
You know what?
After gigs from now that you have kids as well.
I'm 100% on side with you with that, because I'm the same now. Like, I think I was lucky in terms of when I started gigging, gigs were all over the place, so I had to drive. So from the beginning, like, I would have probably had a pint. Whereas I'm glad I never had to drink, and I could always. But see, even now, like, even when people are hanging behind, I'm like, fuck, could I be arsed with this? I need to go home, and you know,
you've so much other shit going on in your life, don't you?
And it's like, and it is hard to to, like, I don't know any, like, there's maybe one or two who have kids that, you know, they're allowed the freedom that I just know in my relationship, that's not the way it works, you know. I think it's like I expect Catherine to, you know, we're 50-50, you know what I mean? So when she's like, she looks, and I'd be the same, like, I'd never take the piss and be like, if a gig's done, what am I getting out of hanging about? Unless there's like when I did Lavery's a couple of weeks ago, Colin Terrell was headlining. Now obviously he's been away in New York for years and I haven't seen him, and I wanted to catch up with him, so I was like, I'll stay, watch his set, have a bit of crack. Still home by 11, you know what I mean? But I think a lot of us now, like, we're all at that age, because obviously
everyone has young kids now.
Yeah, but you obviously had your kids young, and you were doing that stuff before us all, and probably us were like, fuck, you don't realise what it's like having kids until you have kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember a friend of mine, him and his wife, we were trying to arrange a night out with him, and she was like, I'm not free until like 3 months down the line. And we were like, fucking life she living, 3, like, what the fuck? And then
now you get it.
We're like, I'm sorry I ever doubted you, you know. But yeah, I think that now is, and like, it's again, it's like, I always do wee sums in my head, like weighing up what the benefit is. And I go, what am I getting out of hanging about here, having the crack? Yeah, it's good fun, it's whatever. But I could go home and go to bed, because I have to get up at 6 and deal with these 2 wee fucking needy bastards in the morning. You know?
I always find as well, when you're talking to other comedians at comedy clubs, either you're both thinking of material or what set you're going to do or what's going to happen out there, or one of you have just come off and the other one's waiting to go on. Yeah. So there's never that time where you can go, right, we've both been chilled on, we can both know it's an hour later and we've had our fucking come down. Let's now just chat. That's why I made a point of going to the comedian staff do, whereas I never used to even go to things like that. And I was like, I want to make it my mission to go, because I love all the lads. The scene at the minute is so vibrant and everyone's lovely.
But see, that was the first time we've done that.
Yeah.
Like, and since I've been
it has to be an annual thing now.
And I think now, like, what I enjoyed about it was there was a couple of fellas who maybe mentioned work the odd time, but I think the majority of it was just about just good crack. And I think, like, every year we should do that. And I think with going forward, just say, look, we're going to meet here, we'll go elsewhere. If you want to come. Because again, I feel there's always pressure. People be like, oh, I have to go and get pissed. Nah, just come in, have one, have a soft drink. Just, you know.
Just tell me, guy came for what, 2 pints?
Yeah, and it was great. Yeah. You know, and even that was class, because, like, I loved him, and he's one of my favourite comedians and people, actually.
We all watched him growing up.
But the fact now that he's willing to come and meet us for a pint too, and like, he obviously is one of the reasons why a lot of us are doing what we're doing, and for him to come and just join us even shows kind of like, you know, there's a respect there on both sides. And, you know, as much as I take the piss out of him about being a drug dealer, which I'm not going to say he is or he isn't, but, you know, I love him, and for him to come, I was like, you know what, this is a good wee scene, everyone's welcome in it, and, you know, let's all do that, and let's all go for pints, and everyone's welcome in the future. It's a nice time.
Yeah, comedians only though. No,
can you wrap us up?
Yeah, we both have to go.
Yeah. See the kids.
Happy New Year, mate.
Yes, mate. Absolute pleasure. Cheers for having me.
Happy New Year to everyone listening. Do you want to plug anything before you go?
Listen, you know what I will say, I saw a few comedians plugging like their shows on Christmas Day, and I was like, guys, take a day off. So I'm not going to plug anything. I'm just going to say to people here, listen, just hope 2023 is a good year for you. Look to it with positivity. You know, let's just go out there, let's have a good year, and let's make life easy for everybody. Let's just support everybody, and let's have a good year.
That's it.
Cheers for having
quit your job and fucking live the dream.
Yeah, quit your job, make sure your wife earns enough, and then just have a good life.
Your manager doesn't give a fuck about you.
Nah, fucking. They'll replace you in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. Here, peace out. Thanks for following us in 2023. Here's the next year.